The Oceanic Mafia boys. What happens on the water stays on the water.
Righto, welcome back. We're here at the OMP headquarters. I've got myself Adam, a Deeks, and a Cody. Welcome.
Hello.
What's going on?
Not much.
Just answering a message, sorry.
How's the fishing been?
Yeah, fishing's been pretty good.
Wet.
So
Very moist.
very moist. What about you? How many you got this year?
How many metre is?
Yeah.
5.
Oh, fuck. Any salt would have won? No.
One.
Oh, so you're on one.
Are you,
So you're
one,
on
are
one.
you one of these freshwater clowns?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
But he can actually fish it without live scope.
Did
and
you
catch
see?
them, so-
Did you see Lukey's? Oh no, you wouldn't have seen it. He posted it on Instagram this morning. Looks like he was using Batesy's Photoshop program.
Yeah. that wouldn't surprise me.
I may have commented that and say I might need to borrow it. That fish was nearly as tall as Lukey.
It wouldn't need to be up.
No, not that big.
So that was just over a metre.
You got it a red wig, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart.
Lukey's like Eva. Well, they're about the same size.
Oh shit! I don't think anyone's that short. So, welcome, Cody. You're what, new to Audacity?
Yeah.
Well, he's not new to the podcast. He's not new to Audacity.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's the first time I've seen you.
Yeah.
I don't even know. When did I start?
Oh, I don't know. Been, what, a year and a bit?
Yeah.
I would say.
There
Probably.
you go.
Yeah.
Decade for
Shows
us.
you how
and
much I
then
know.
Did a fair bit of Well, you were there with the first flip house with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that must be a year and 18 months old at
Yeah.
least, possibly even 2 years. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, so just started off with Adam. I don't know. Met Madam through Adam won a
Madam,
Madam.
the madam,
Yes.
Yeah.
Put
just-
that on the shirt.
Met Adam
the
through
madam.
one of my fishing mates, and I don't even know how I started doing stuff with you, and then I don't know, we just got to know each other, and yeah, did a bit of stuff with him, just flipping the houses, and then started doing stuff on the fishing charters, and really enjoyed it. And yeah, he's a decent bloke, so thought I'd keep him around.
Cash
in
for comment.
Let's not go that far. All you Muppets keep saying some shit like that, and it's just people think I'm a softie. This is the problem.
So, I'm not on video today, but there's a reason for that. We are
'Cause
talking
you're
about...
fucking ugly.
We're talking about live baiting, and we've got a few little diagrams and stuff on. So the guys that know
Diagrams.
are on there so that they
What's
can
a
show
diagram?
you when they're talking. It's a big word for it's diagram. 3 syllables, Deacon. You'll learn that in grade 12 next year.
Well, no, see, he dropped
me.
out in grade 9.
Oh,
I'm limited to 2 syllables.
you probably failed kindy because you couldn't scribble.
Yeah. Wouldn't. Yeah.
See,
probably.
this is the thing, is like, you know, I can bag him too because I actually went to Northern Beaches, but grade 9 or 10 in Northern Beaches is probably about year 5 in Pimlico. So...
Well,
There's
there
not
you go.
much
Pimlico
intelligence
doesn't
there.
even have year 5.
So since everyone at home knows who Deacon is,
Yep.
and knows who I am, and knows who you are, Matty, or go on, Cody, give us a shot at who you are, where you come from, what brings you to Townsville, what are you doing? May as well go into that before we actually head into the live bait side.
Righto, so my name's Cody Wachner, and originally grew up on a cattle station in the Gulf near Normanton, so always been into my barra fishing, always done that since I was little with Dad going in the Norman River. So I grew up doing that, School of the Air, so homeschooled for the first couple of years, and then went to boarding school in Toowoomba, and then after that wanted to do university. At the moment I'm doing paramedicine at uni.
Holy.
Yeah.
That's a big word.
So really enjoying that, and
Deacon's like, are you an NRL player? Sorry, bro.
yeah, so at uni and then doing that in Townsville. Could have gone to uni in a few places, but really just went to Townsville for the fishing. Always got a love of fishing, always loved it, still love it, and yeah, means a lot to me, and it's really, I don't know, helps you I've definitely found it to be something that helps me whenever times are getting harder. You just need to clear your head a bit.
Therapeutic.
Really therapeutic just to be able to go down, be around the water. So that's why I came to Townsville to do uni, was the fishing. And just love barra fishing, sort of all I've ever really loved and delved into. Do a lot of freshwater barra fishing up in the Ross. Just enjoy it, easy. Don't need to wash anything off. Just go fishing after work and then put the boat away and everything's good to go.
Batesy's got another tribe member.
Yeah. So
He does, but he's old school.
Yeah.
So Cody's old school. He's not just live scope and that's how we do it. you
Yeah.
know, so.
Yeah. And I think it was really valuable. Like, I got nothing against live scope and it's a really valuable tool to have. But I think in fishing, you know, like a fishing mind comes first. You need to be able to look at the water, look at your surroundings and read the environment. Like, you can have live scope and have all the money in the world, but I don't know, you see it time and time again, people that don't fish a heap, put a lot of money into it, get a live scope, but nothing's a substitute for hours on the water. And you just need to be able to know how to fish, where to fish, and live scope can't tell you that. And you can get stuck chasing fish that aren't eating, aren't feeding, and you can sit there for hours and try and make them feed, but you'd be surprised how stubborn a barra can be and how close you can put a lure to it, but if it doesn't want to eat it, it won't eat it.
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty much me in Townsville. Love it here, been here a couple years. Met Adam, done a bit of work with him.
Mrs. Kids?
Got a girlfriend at the moment. Not that old, couple months, pretty fresh.
How old are you?
I am 21.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Heaps of time.
Pretty fresh. Doesn't have a shout out, so you know.
Yeah. And
Let's not look at how
I'm
long
not
this
saying
could
shit that's
go.
going to
like-
get you into trouble. More importantly, does she like fishing?
yeah,
Or does she like you liking fishing?
well,
There's a difference.
I couldn't care. I wouldn't want to be with her if she didn't. I think, like, it's a big thing in my life.
Imagine
like,
if she's been keeping it secret. and
Are
then
you
she's just
serious?
Like, fuck.
oh, yeah.
You wanted to go fishing.
Hey?
You wanted to go fishing.
Oh, no,
didn't you?
but I couldn't care less if she wants to come or not, but it was actually something that I'd said at the start when I was first with her was,
I trained him well here.
it was like from the first little bit, I was like, I'll care about you and I love you, but you'll never stop me from going fishing. Like, it's something that I need to be able to do for myself. Like, big mental health for me. I love it. And life's stressful sometimes in uni and everything, and being able to just go for a fish and unwind, like, there's nothing that can compare to it, just sitting there and enjoying it. But yeah, she doesn't mind fishing. I've taken her a few times, taken her over to Maggie and took her over there swimming and spearing, and she saw some turtles and some eagle rays and stuff, and she thought it was pretty cool.
Because like the whole paramedicine side of things could, well, not at the moment, but eventually will probably be a pretty heavy topic for you. Like when you're actually out there doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I've heard a few things from different friends over the years that have done it. So
Yeah, it's definitely, you need to be able to sort of compartmentalise things, and nowadays they put a lot of effort into mental health, like looking after their paramedics, but yeah, you definitely see a lot of stuff and need to be able to deal with it and cope with it. But yeah, I'm pretty keen. The reason I first started going in, like wanted to do paramedicine, when I was 10, my brother cut his leg with a 9-inch grinder and cut a big chunk out of his leg, and not necessarily saved his life, but it was pretty scary. And they came in, and I don't know, it was pretty cool of being in a rural environment. Like, you're pretty far away from any help, and
Yep.
it was pretty cool seeing
especially
that
if you get
happen.
one of your big veins.
Yeah, well, he was 0.2 of a mil off his femoral artery.
Oh.
You could see it pulsating, like he missed it by a bee's dick.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I could just imagine that grind. Oh,
That's a
don't
big
e-
bee's dick. 0.2 of a mil. I look like that at 0.06 or something.
have you looked into
I
it?
could only dream of that.
I'm a quality bee. It's amazing how something like that can just, trigger you to go down that path.
Butterfly effect.
That's cool.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. Different butterfly to you, Deacon. Like the butterfly.
I see a lot of them.
Look at the colours.
This is so pretty. It's so pretty.
Anyway, we're not taking the piss out of mental health.
Yeah.
No, yes. People need to know that there's never take us seriously in any way, shape, or form, and hopefully that is there a terms and conditions when you press play
There
on
should be.
Spotify?
I honestly could not. I could not give a fuck. Everything is up for banter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
And that's how it's
all for
always
a laugh.
been. But that's
Like,
how
I'm a big
Audacity
lad.
is
If you
too.
come up and say, "Oh, look at you," you're fat. You're not saying nothing to me. I haven't
Nah.
said to myself in the mirror. So open slather. I just know it's coming back.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Fuck you and your Calcutta.
So how many years you got left?
2 years left.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Was it a big change for you coming? Like, I mean, Townsville's not that big. It's just a big country town.
Yeah.
But like compared to where you're from,
Probably the biggest thing was going from like homeschooling, school of the year, living on the property all the time. Then like first sort of like year at boarding school was like, holy fuck,
Yeah.
there's like a whole world out there. It's not just grass and cattle. Like,
More than 3 girls.
yeah. And
Those 3 girls were 50-year-old principal, 70-year-old teacher.
and one was his sister.
and yeah, it was pretty pretty big change going to Toowoomba, but coming to Townsville, I don't know, I guess I've always sort of been used to being away from home, like got shipped off to boarding school, parents got sick of me, so I was sort of used to not being around my parents, so
Toowoomba probably prepared you for coming here because I've lived in Toowoomba
Yeah.
and like it's like it's not big, but yeah, just getting used to that like small city life. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've never lived in I've never spent any extended period of time in anywhere bigger than Townsville, or Toowoomba.
Yep.
And I like it like that. Like Brisbane's too hectic for me. I hate it. Too much traffic.
You would
Everything.
have froze your nuts off in Toowoomba as well during the
Oh
winters.
yeah.
That's
Cold.
one of the coldest places I've ever been.
It is chilly. Like early morning rugby training, the grass is just frozen, crunching under your feet. It's fucked.
Yeah, when were we? 2006. We were down there doing. I think we did the upgrade in front of the school at Highfields.
Yeah.
All new road through there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did a winter. Wasn't a fan.
No.
And I like cold weather.
Yeah, well, obviously I'm a bit closer to home here than in Toowoomba or anywhere down near Brisbane, but yeah, primarily up here. Good weather most of the time when it's not raining, but
Don't start me. Fucking over it.
Maddie hates the rain.
Oh, with a passion.
you know, they make these things called a rain jacket. Just
Nah,
go
he
out
just-
and get amongst it.
I sit around at work all week.
Get those Calcuttas to work.
As you get older, you don't want to be in the rain.
No.
No.
Mate, we went down to Girona a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was the Friday. It was the first day we thought, yeah, good fishing here. So we got down there, marked some fish, started chucking. First front come through, we sat through it. An hour later, another front come through. Third one come through. I looked at Kimmy. I'm like, fuck this, man. We got to go.
Yeah.
He rings me and he goes, "Oh, we went through 2 rain events today." I'm like, rain event? What the fuck's a rain? This is
Absolutely pissed
Meanwhile,
down.
we went north. I was north on a charter. Or no, I might have been with you.
Yeah.
And we got fucking belted. Like, absolutely belted.
glitter.
And,
You got glitter on your eyebrow too.
yeah, that's what happens when you make lures. And we just,
Deacon-
Deacon and I have little fancy...
Look at me.
Got your own little Mardi Gras going on.
Yeah, well, have a look behind me. Have a look at all these lures. They just don't make themselves, guys.
No.
You know, it is what it is. Maddie doesn't understand that.
Come sit on my dump when you got 30 trucks running at you.
Oh, that's
Oh,
not
come on.
What do you do? What do you
Get
sit-
your license, dickhead.
You're on the aircon.
Yeah, sitting in air.
Come do my job for a night and see how you handle it.
Easy. Come run a night charter.
You're not,
You reckon you burn him on the back
you're not,
deck?
you're not sitting on the back seat of the fucking Pathfinder while Adam's looking after the clients.
You burn out on a 13-hour night charter before you burn out on a digger.
I burn
He
out
burn
after
out
3
fishing
hours
it.
these days, mate.
He burned out fishing it after
3
2
hours.
fish.
3 hours, I'm done. I enjoy three to 4
Two-
hours and then I'm done.
You catch 2 nice nannies and you're like,
You're getting paid. I'm not.
you get paid to sit in the digger.
No, but I mean when I go fishing.
I don't get paid to go fishing. I get paid to help people go fishing.
Same.
No, it's not.
No,
This
it's
is
completely
where you're like, Sue, yeah. Well, you go fishing all the time. No, I fucking don't go fishing all the time. I go when there's clients on a boat. That's not fishing. Might as well be digging a hole. All right.
In the aircon.
Yeah.
I'm not on a
I
digger.
don't understand
Tomato,
it.
tomato.
They're different. No, actually, it's not.
Oh, it's the same thing. It's like going fishing and helping people catch fish.
Speaking of digger operators, young Mundy hasn't been out fishing lately. I was talking to him the other day.
Hasn't he?
No.
Not hard work.
Very.
I think he's over it. Sick of the rain. But anyway. So, with everything Cody's just told us, sounds like a pretty action-packed life.
Yeah.
Toowoomba to Townsville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you hoping to stay in Townsville with the paramedicine, or where do you hope it takes you?
Well, I don't quite know yet. Once I graduate, for my first year, I'll stay somewhere bigger, like Townsville, Rocky, possibly Brisbane. Like, I'd want to do my first year somewhere where you're getting a lot of exposure to a lot of different things to become a better paramedic. And then sort of once I get that, I would like to go rural eventually, I think.
I feel like Rocky would be your scene.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, I'd like Rocky.
Big fish.
Big fish, country town,
Yeah.
sort of your sort of
Yeah, I
So,
do
yeah.
like Rocky. So I wouldn't mind
Gracemere.
going to Rocky, or eventually, like, yeah, wouldn't mind like going up to Weeper and stuff like that, like working up there. It'd be pretty cool.
Working or fishing?
Yeah, honestly,
both.
my whole life, ideally, it's like everything's going to be dictated at the end of the day, whether there's good fishing or not. Like, I won't want to sort of stay somewhere for an extended period of time where
Yep.
there isn't good fishing. Like, I'm open to all different sorts of fishing. Like, I'd go down south, love Murray cod, they're a cool fish.
They're not Barra.
No, they're cool, but I did a bit of cod and bass fishing and yellow belly, like down in Toowoomba, and it's cool. But yeah, sort of wherever I live, I want there to be big fish of some description that I can go and chase.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, with all that being said, where do you want to take us, boss?
No. Well, we initially, the whole idea of this was to do it like an educational live baiting podcast, just to help the guys at home who might need a little tip or two, or are just firstly getting into fishing. So we did one. We actually filmed it 3 weeks ago or so, and then I didn't really like how it sat, and some big muppet across from me just started talking about food and rambling on every now and then. So I thought we detoured quite a bit in that, where we didn't have to. So I thought, well, stuff it. Like, well, why don't we have it here and have it with the, two of the lads that we're going to have moving forward, and then they can always ask that little bit extra, any questions that they see, anything I've missed or we'll can just go deeper into it rather than just me sitting in front of a camera doing what we need to do. So I think it'll just help people at home.
I think a couple of different points of view, like you said, too, will always help this
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah. And these two, like I said, are two of about 4 or 5 that moving forward we'll run Barra charters with. So I want to build a bit of a culture there in regards to it. So almost like a brotherhood sort of thing.
Keeping
I'd
everything
like
similar.
Well, I'd like them to bounce things off each other and learn from each other as well. And I look at them all, and I probably see like Deacon's the youngest at 16, but he's probably spent the most time with me barra fishing. So I would say he has more of an understanding of how I fish, how I'd expect a charter to go. And like there'll be times some of the older guys will go, "Oh shit, Deacon, what would you think Adam would have done, or what would Adam do, or what should we do? What would you like to do, Deacon?" Or and get an understanding of it. Doesn't matter sort of what age they are or who they are. Once you're part of that little group, then we bounce ideas off each other and train each other. And say Cody's going to do a charter on a Monday and Deacon's doing one on a Wednesday. Well, they need to communicate on what they caught, where they caught, be vocal about it to themselves, so that the guys on the Wednesday have a better understanding of where they're going to catch fish, and also to the point where we're not just hitting the same areas, and we're getting a spread from it. So, I've got 35 years of experience fishing this area, and I'm not going to just give that away for free and to anyone. But I think building a little brotherhood of charters that they can bounce things off each other as well. So
Especially
I
if it
think that's a
benefits
good
your
idea.
business as a whole.
Well, the whole idea is to have a good business moving forward, and you can't do that without good people. So it's it's an interesting one there. But like, I've looked at many ways of where we can multiply the business and have 2 or 3 barra charters, and I look at a lot of guides over the years, and there's so much ego there that just doesn't fit in our. There's only one room for one ego in Audacity, and that's me. So the rest need to understand that we're all in it together.
You seem to be rubbing off all right on this wanker.
Yeah. Well, he gets a little bit there. Once they start chartering, it'll knock that ego completely out of them and bring them back to earth and go from there. So, so I think that's an important way to go. I think moving forward, we need to build a culture. I think the last 3 to 6 months, I would say, it's probably not irked me, but I've seen a lot more of it where everyone just wants to know where you fished, how you fished, what you caught. And it's like, guys, if you're not part of this little group, we don't want you knowing.
Yeah.
So, it's 35, 36 years of my experience and knowledge and areas we fish. We just don't want to be showing that to everyone else around it. And I talked to Cody about it during the week, and it's like, once you become one of our guides, there's no fishing where you fished on charter with your mates. There's no, talking to your mates of where you caught it. You can't do that because it doesn't benefit the group. So it's not about keeping the info all to ourselves and being dickheads about it. It's about keeping it for the clients in the future. So it doesn't make sense talking to people where you fished and why you fished and how you fished, and it just doesn't make sense. There's absolutely no benefit out of it talking outside of your business. That's a culture thing that I'd like to build with these guys, and I think the bigger the little group of them, the better they can throw off each other. And there will be personalities in those groups that and some will pick it up better than others, and some will be a little bit behind, but it's no different to any other job. So just because you're behind this year on the charters doesn't mean you won't be the best guide next year.
Yep.
But it all has to go back to the focus on the client. So that's the biggest thing. So focus on the client, and there's no ego in what you do. So, and be good on the water.
Yeah.
Wave to everyone.
Yeah.
Leave people alone when they're in a spot. Even if you want to fish that spot and there's a boat there, you're best just going elsewhere. Because if you pull up, it's only ego that makes you want to pull up. I've done it many years where I've pulled up in front of other boats. Bowley was the best example. And you pull up and you catch a few fish and then you move on and no one else caught a fish. And you walk away going, oh, how good was I? But it means fuck all in the end. So you're better off going elsewhere and catching fish and not teaching those guys how you just did it. So that's part of bringing these guys in with this conversation. And then, just seeing if there's any extra questions they have on top of what we're sort of talking about.
Yeah.
And the questions that we're going to go through, we'll throw at them before it throw at me as well. Get their understanding of where they're at. And that might just help someone at home. So there is, like before we go into it, there is courses and everything you can do, but it's very 2D, you know what I mean? It's you listen to it, you do it, and that's it. But, having a group where you can throw ideas at each other from a guiding point of view, I've never heard of it being done before. So I just think it's a cool idea. And it is going to benefit the business moving forward if we have opening of the Ross River Dam, if we have net-free zones, we're at a crossroads of what's going to happen with the NX fishery with the netting.
Yeah.
So if that does get abolished, well, it's only going to make for a better future when it comes to the charter side and the line fishing side. So having this group, I think, is great moving forward. Everyone makes money.
Just on the ego thing you're talking about later, have you noticed like when you are anchored and you're trying to fish with your clients and that, the amount of fucking dickheads out there that just go motor and pasture? Like,
It's an interesting one because we have clients comment about it all the time, and people don't think you've got a memory,
yeah.
and other people have a very fucking bad memory.
Yep.
So someone will come past at half speed, you're anchored up or you're spot locked, and they'll just plough through and there'll be a metre of wave come through.
Yep.
And it's like, you just sort of stand there and go like this, and they look at you and just wave like nothing's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you go past in a 22-footer with a 300 on the back and you slow down at the same speed, well, my wake's now going to be 1.5 metres, and then suddenly they're going to get abusive at you.
Yeah.
And it's like, hang on, you just did that to me.
Can I
and
borrow
you
the
don't
Pathy one
expect
day?
that.
There's a few people I love. Like, prime example, like when we went fishing last weekend or the weekend before with Kimmy, we're sitting at a spot, we were both spot locked probably about 40 metres apart.
Yep.
Kimmy's got the bank probably about 15 metres away and he's found a spot like just off of it and he's flicking, and this bloke just comes, like had the rest of the creek to go behind him, but like in that 10 metre thing, just comes straight up. Like, just have some fucking etiquette is all I'm trying to say.
Oh, I think there's two things. There's people that don't have the understanding, like they just, it's not an intelligence thing, but they just don't think about it. And you can go, okay, well, you know, when you have a chat with them later, it's like, well, did you understand what you did there? And they're like, oh, shit, I didn't really mean it, you know. And then there's other ones that just don't give a fuck and actually do it intentionally.
Well, these guys just gave him the thumbs up, yeah,
Right.
whatever. I was just like,
Yeah.
fuck me.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
Just to make it clear for everyone watching or listening, what's going to be the best way going past someone for? Because like you were saying, like some people might not know, some people don't know what you should do. So
So the key is your boat turn around at your speeds that you do. So when you're driving down the creek, you're hooning around. If you're at top speed, have a look at how much wake you've got behind you. So if that's this much and you're at full speed, then go past boats at full speed. As long as you're not, like rules are within 30 metres of another vessel, you have to be 6 knots. So 30 metres in a lot of these creeks is
a whole
a
creek.
long way. Well, sometimes it's a whole, you know, it is, but if you go the other side, you don't have to slow down at all. So, and I actually do it with the Pathy. It's actually easier because you can speed up to go around a boat. Like people sort of probably think that is an ego-driven thing, but it's actually I'm speeding up. I'll take the other corner and I'll corner early so that my wake does not go onto where the boat is. I'll corner in so it goes onto that bank. And it's flatter. So the key is different vessels will throw different wake. So turn around, have a look at what you're doing at full speed, have a look at what you're doing at quarter speed, 3/4 speed, and half speed, and then gauge from there. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with stopping and then creeping slowly. We did it in Morrissey's the other day. As we got closer to the ramp, it was narrower. There was a little boat sitting there, and I'd stopped way before him, 30, 40, 50 metres before him, and then just putted along. Took an extra minute.
Yeah.
It's not going to change my life. And then old mate, when we actually spot locked on some fish further down, old mate come past us and did exactly the same thing. And it's like, how cool is that? That's good.
Yeah.
You know, a minute's not going to affect you.
Sorry for the detour.
For
I
you
was just
guys,
like-
no, it's actually a good thing because these guys have got to understand too that, you know, whether we've got a sticker on the side of the boat or whether people just know that the boat's an Audacity charter boat, the last thing you want to actually do is upset anyone on the water without there being merit from it. You know, if someone rings me and goes, one of your boys was on the water and did this to me, and it's like, well, I'll ring that bloke and I'll go, what happened? But at the same time, I'll then ring that person back and say, mate, did you actually do this, this and this? Because if I was on the boat, I would have acted totally on a different level to what my boys would have done. So I'm happy to reprimand someone, but at the same time, if I was going to do more than that, then I'm patting them on the back for actually holding back a little bit. So there's a right and a wrong.
Yep.
And different levels of it. So
I thought it was something that needed to be said because, like, I've noticed the last couple of times that we've gone out now, like that one with Kimmy the other day, that was like plain ignorance. But
and
like,
that's the thing, and if you did it to them, they'd probably crack the shits.
Yeah.
And it's like,
exactly.
yeah.
But like he just went straight across the front of where he's flicking. Like if he was anchored up and he went around the other side, I probably wouldn't have cared, but yeah, it was just the fact that he did that, and I was just, and then like we were down at Ross yesterday, and people were just flying past us, and I was just like, fucking hell, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and especially when you're live scoping too, because you'll be casting at a bank, but you'll be positioning yourself off it, and they won't know that you're actually doing that because you'll stop casting when they come past. Like the last thing you want to do is hook a barrow when someone's driving past.
Yeah.
So you just stop what you're doing, and they'll just pick that side, so they don't know.
Yeah.
And then others will purposely do it just to see what you're fishing on.
As soon as we hear
And
him
it's
come, we
like-
just turn around and just stare at him.
yeah.
Because I'm not the smallest bloke. I can't fight for shit.
See, when I was with Ethan the other day, we were spot locked on a spot, and we had a boat come past us, and we watched him come around the corner, had a decent wake behind, and he trimmed up, so he didn't have much of a wake. Trimmed up, and it didn't bother us.
And just booted, yeah.
Because he did trim up, and we watched the difference when he did, when
Yeah,
he wasn't
he
trimmed.
knew what he was doing,
And then 10 minutes later, we had a different boat come past, 5 metres away from us.
slows half down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had a metre wake behind them. But like they must have thought they were doing the right thing
Yeah, they
by
just don't
slowing
look
down.
behind.
But they just, yeah.
And that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying with some people do it intentionally and some people don't. So there are a lot of Muppets in the world, but there's a lot of people who are just uneducated on it. So it's a good idea just to work out what it looks like behind your boat. And every boat is different.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, we'll take it the way we want now. So
so we'll get into the barra side.
Yep.
Yes.
What is the most important part of baiting?
Deacon.
Adam.
Oh, okay. Well,
Cody.
Well, obviously. Obviously. Well, go on.
Yeah, for your live baiting. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
Well, you've answered it in your first thing. For live baiting. So live bait is 100% the most important part about live baiting. So before you actually do any form of finding fish, positioning, anything like that, you got to have the bait in the bait tank. So that's your basic start. And especially from a charter point of view, you always want to have ample because your best days are the ones where you've fucking only got 10 mullet. Fuck, it's hard. And you got to pick yourself and you go, well, you say, well, should I go fish that spot with 10 mullet? And then suddenly you smack 5 barra and you got a bite period going and then you got no bait left. And it's like, fuck. Do you spend an extra half hour and get 20, 25? So, gauging what you would use in a day. And these guys, it'll take a little while for them. Some days you'll go through 200 big live prawn. Some days you'll go through 200 little prawn. Some days you'll want 50 mullet. And it all depends on size too. So if you're in that 8 to 10 inch sort of mullet, you only need 10 or 15 of those for the day because they last longer and you only catch barra on them and you don't lose them to bycatch. So so I'd say the most important thing is just your bait to start off with, and then you move into keeping it alive. So I think that was your next question: is your live well setups and what you can do and how you can keep those baits the best they can. Different setups for different baits as well is a key. So if you fish a lot of greenback herring and stuff that will lose a lot of scales and crap a lot, you need good flow and you need good exiting systems for your water. So whether you have blowout drain holes in the bottom where the scales are big enough to shoot through, and if you're going to put a lot of greenbacks in there, they're going to lose a lot of scales. And if you have a lot of prawns with your greenbacks, then the scales are going to end up in the bottom, and the prawns are going to get choked out with all the greenback shit and the scales and all the ammonia and everything that comes out of that. So having a decent live bait setup is key. Back in the old days with the old man, we'd have 2 or 3. So you'd have one with your mullet and whiting, and then one with your prawns.
Yep.
And they were just bucket setups with drilled holes, and 20-litre buckets with drilled holes in the top with a half open thing. And when you'd sort of drive down the river and then stop, fill it back up, go back, replenish it, and then when you anchor up, you just drop it in, leave it in all day.
Days.
Those were the days, hey? And then you leave the lid off the fucking thing, and You turn around and
I once saw
shit, we got no mullet. They just swum out.
Spent
We
all
just
that
spent
time.
3 hours catching them and they just fell out.
I once watched a mullet escape one of those live baits and smack a barra in the face.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, are people still using the aerated ones, or are they still just?
Some people do.
Yeah.
And even with the old man down at the hut there, he'll just use it in a bucket with an aerator.
I think he's had that thing since 1960 or something, hasn't he?
Yeah, probably. It's just a little tube with
Here, Dale, come blow on this while I catch a fish.
That's how I felt trying to keep the axolotl alive the other day with the.
Fuck,
with
I've heard
no
more
power.
about that thing than oh my god.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
get voted off the island. if
Oh,
we
it
were
was
all
a
there.
pressure situation that was. Trying to keep a 4-legged fish alive while there's no power. Right. Just make sure the battery aerators are
How much
going.
did this fish cost?
$65.
Oh my fucking god! You go over to Ingham Road Seafood.
It's got nothing to do with the 65 though. It cost me $28 for five bloody double D batteries
What does it need batteries for?
for the aerator.
When the power
Oh,
was
And
on.
it's like $65. We could just get another one down the track.
Mate,
But no,
surely
she
you
would have
can trade
killed me.
that. You can trade her in with the fish
Oh, if only.
and get
If
yourself another
only.
deacon.
Oh, that's just what the fucking world needs.
You imagine if you had a twin.
No.
He does, Bradley. And
Yeah,
Oh,
Brad Enders from
yeah.
Tackle World.
Yeah,
Just an
I
older
forgot
one.
about him.
Yeah,
Older twin.
yeah.
Older twin.
yeah. It's funny. It's like, oh, your dad. Does he know? Because you
Where was
two
your
look
dad in
just,
1990?
you know. That's cool.
Shout out, Brad.
Poor Bradley.
Manchester City fan and all.
I don't know what's worse. Deacon looks like Bradley, or Bradley looks like Deacon, or like which positioning's worse when someone says you look like them? Poor Bradley.
Depends.
Poor Deacon.
That's a
I
tough,
wouldn't want to look like either of the book.
that's a tough one.
Good point.
I'm staying out of that one.
Good point.
I like me some Deke.
It's like that wonky.
Okay.
You just like it, eh? But yeah, so then you can go into going back to the live bait tanks is like what we have in the Pathfinder is a circulation tank, which then pumps in as well. So you got 2 pumps. You got one to circulate what's in there. I never use that. I just pump in and then it overflows.
It's always full of barra.
So try to be. That's the whole
Yes.
idea of it. You're doing it wrong if it's not. But,
Doesn't get used for bait.
so, but yeah, in regards to that, and then and depending how big it is, to the depth of it, I suppose, and having different layers and different species of animals in there. So if you're going to run prawn, you're going to run mullet, and you're going to run herring, you need ways for those prawns to come off the bottom and not be in that effluent as such, because they will just die and you'll lose a high percentage of them. So gluing something like marine carpet on the walls means your prawns will come up to the top. They'll grab onto the marine carpet and they just stay there. So that's a cool tip. And then making your bait tank dark so
You say
that
on
there's
the
less
walls.
stress. Yeah,
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
walls, yeah. Yeah, so leave the bottom nice and what happens is when you've got movement in there, the prawns go, I don't want to be here. And then they'll climb up the sides
Give something
and they've
to
got
latch
something
onto.
to grip. And then they're easy to grab too. So if you open your bait tank up, you have a look and there's 20 prawns there, you just grab a prawn and pull it out. If you have them all on the bottom and you put your scoop in, they just kick everywhere. It's a pain in the ass. So,
It's been nearly 3 years since I bait fished.
yeah,
Ever since I found plastics.
fair enough. Yeah, I'd rather throw lures, but
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you the last time I put a live in, eh?
it's quite good though. Like there is something about it properly live bait fishing. Whether it's with clients, and we'll do some days where we just take us boys out there and we go through it all. But it's actually soothing and calming, and I
Just
like it.
sitting there.
As long as you got the right baits and you're in the right area, and you're smacking fish here and there, it's cool.
Yeah, you just got a little bit of downtime.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you just take turns and do what you need to do, and yeah.
So what are you catch? How are you catching your bait? Are you like obviously cast nets?
So yeah, cast nets are legal in Queensland, so that's what we run. I like to run about a 10-foot or a 12-foot drop. So 10's ideal because they've got 3/4 mesh.
Yep.
You tend to not get a lot of gilled stuff at the right size that you want for bait. So a mullet that's that long's not going to get gilled in a 3/4. It's going to pop out and live better.
Yep.
Whereas you go to most 12-footers are a 1-inch mesh, which is just too big for me. I think it just gills and
A lot of
kills
shit
a lot
gets
of bait.
away. Yeah.
Well, it kills them. It rips their gills and they get stuck in it rather than So 3/4 mesh. If I could get a 12-foot drop 3/4, then I'd buy one. But I haven't seen them for a while. So 10-foot. If you're not that good at throwing a cast net, then go down to a 9-foot.
Yep. Are you using drawstring or pockets?
So either or.
I prefer
depends
pockets.
where you are.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you're in the boat throwing out, then it's a lot easier with a drawstring.
Yep.
You're up on the bank with pockets. It's a lot easier. So, but in saying that, for years we drove and threw out of the boat with pocket nets. So, it's much of a
I
muchness.
remember when I was younger, the old man would be like, "Don't throw it on that stick. Get that pocket ripped. You're gonna have to buy a new cast net."
Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
then, $80 was a lot for a cast net.
When you think about it, it was 30 years ago and they were still $80. Now they're $200. They're
Nothing's
cheap as
changed.
shit now.
Nothing's changed.
No, but they're cheap as shit. Like $200 now is a lot less money than $80 back then was. So, yeah. But no, depending where and how, I try and run one of each at least on the boat. So if you're struggling with bait, then you can go and actually live scope some of those deep snagged areas and find some oceanic schools of herring and that sort of stuff, and throw the drawstring on top of them and get those bigger herring where normally you wouldn't. So.
For another thing, like if you're going out fishing, where are you going to go? Like, obviously your tides are going to be a big factor on where you're getting your bait. Say you go out and it's tough and there isn't a heap of bait around, or the tide, it's a high tide. What are you going to do to try and give yourself the best chance to go and find good bait?
So the key with that is plenty of time on water and learning. Jagger's having a snap at Bailey here, the dogs. Gotta love them.
Jagger, you will get fucked up.
Yeah, she will beat your ass, mate. She will beat your ass.
Stay tuned for UFC.
But yeah, one thing I always say to people is you're always learning. So it doesn't matter what you're actually physically doing for the day. So even if you caught all your bait right at the start of the day and you're fishing and suddenly you're at lunchtime with big tides, at top of the tide, at high tide, and you found a little eddy where you're anchoring, you actually remember that shit, there was a lot of mullet in that little eddy there on a 2.8 metre tide or a 3.1. So you keep that in your bank. I think it'd be cool to have some sort of, you're right, dogs? It'd be cool to have some sort of database that you could look at and go, okay, well, on a 3 metre tide, let's look at, say, the Horton. Where are we going to find them? Well, these are the main 5 spots that you would find them. But you're going to find that information with a lot more time on water is basically what you're going to get back to. But yeah, there's certain areas. There's certain areas that are barren, and there's certain areas that are good at high tides. So you're always going to find them on beaches and areas that are that graduate up into the shallows. You're always going to find mullet and whiting and garfish especially. So especially if the water's clean, out the front of every system is going to have big garfish. They're just as good a bait as any.
And what's your ideal bait? If you could have a live bait tank filled with premium baits, what do you want?
Oh, I like having. Geez, imagine that tail. Bailey's tail hitting the. Yeah.
But my wolfhound's tail, registered weapon.
Yeah.
It whacked me in the nuts this morning, dropped me like a sack of shit. The funny thing is, you feel the first one and you're like, oh, I'm good, bang.
And the next one comes
Just
in.
down like a sniper.
Yeah. You want to let him out?
Yeah.
That's probably a better way.
So, yeah.
But I'll keep going that question when Cody comes back. But so in an ideal world, like I don't care what anyone says, but if I could get 50 prawn that big, 365 days a year, I'd get Barra 365 days a year. So huge prawn, the big bananas that come in are always going to be the best. Oh, big banana over here.
I just think of banana and this wanker over here. Banana.
Is that what you're actually thinking?
Oh,
But yeah, so big banana prawns, big prawns are always going to work.
Definitely
The
catch.
best.
Definitely catch more than the netters.
The netters.
The netters. Remember? Oh, never mind. Won't go too deep into that.
No, it went straight over my head, that
And
one.
What sort of areas are you looking for? Like for your prawns, are you gonna be casting like at the front of little creeks and drains, or out on sand?
Basically, with prawns, you're going to do that. They're going to come in and out of certain systems, so they will migrate down some banks, and you'll get them in some areas, and then you'll get them on those lower of a tide on those flats, and sandbars out in the middle. They'll sometimes go to as well. But basic rule of thumb with prawns is any little creek gutter or mangrove dropouts and blowouts. So they do like to eat a lot of the stuff in the mud. So, creek gutters coming out is going to expose that side of the bank. So if you had a little mud fall in on a straight, you're going to find that bank's exposed. That's what they want to find as well. So they'll be in there as well. So when the big banana prawns come in, they just come in. They don't sit like school prawns. So they'll just come in and just move with the tide in and out and do what they need to do. So they're less congregating. They just sort of wave in. So, but outside of prawns, then you're looking at big mullet, big garfish, big whiting.
Yeah. And are you going to be rigging all of these different baits in different ways and presenting them?
Yeah, and
potentially
a
using-
lot of that's got to do with your tide, how much movement there is, where you're fishing. There is a lot more to it if you want to perfect it than there is just saying put the good bait on. So, your big prawn, you actually clip through the, if they're a hardy shell, you clip through the last nodule. So they'll have about 5 nodules on the back. You'll actually be able to clip through that last one. And what that does is allow that prawn to flick a lot better than if you've clipped it here. It's going to flick and it's only going to move a little bit. You flick it there, it's actually flicking quite a lot. And it's the same with when you go into a mullet or a herring is, Sue's done a cool little job here.
That's a fat fucking
So like a
fish.
mud herring. It's a matty fish.
Sure that's not your goldfish?
That's a matty fish.
Pretty sure your goldfish looks similar to that.
So yeah, it's the same. I see a lot of people hooking live baits up here. Mm-hmm. So when the fish is actually moving, like a snake, like trying to swim, that's the least amount of energy that can be put through the hook is hooking it there. So if you hook it right down the tip, you're going to get a lot more vibration through that than you are going to be hooking it up here. Same with the nose. The nose is good, but you get zero movement out of that fish. So you hook through the nose when you've got a lot of current and you've got to just hold him sitting there. So he's just going to sit with the current swimming like that. Whereas usually you'll live bait on, neap to 2 metres a run. So you want that bait movement. So you want to be hooking them right at the back and getting as much vibration through that rod as possible in the rod holder. So, and the key is having those rods direct. So if you've got that vibration, that's all great. You put it in the rod holder and suddenly it goes slack. The fish is just sort of sitting there, half swimming on its side, doing nothing. And you've got this bow in the line. You're not getting movement through that fish. You pull it tight and he starts moving again, then you've got direct. He's moving 2 to 3 times as much as what he was before, sitting half on the side. He's more attractive to a barra. So the more movement you get out of them, the better.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what bait. So, and prawn obviously give out a noise underwater that barra just love. So they don't need to see it. So the darker, filthier the water you get, you can still throw a prawn down. He just swims past the barra, will eat it. They just do. So it's not about vision when it comes to prawns. And then with the other fish in real clear water, a lot of the time they will look up and them come in and go, no, I don't want it. So if it's not being natural but erratic natural, sometimes I'll just look at it and turn away. And Spanish do that quite a lot too, is when you drop a live bait down. If it doesn't look natural to them, it's vibrating a lot, but it's on its side, and that, they just look at it and go, yeah, nah, something wrong with that. Barra do the same. The amount of times, it's no different to a lure. them following a lure and then going, no, I don't want that.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much for a fish to see something. Like when you're fishing, always sort of be diligent. Like if your lure isn't swimming properly, fix it. There's no point throwing it around.
100%. Yeah. But you still might get that 1 out of 50 that just wants to eat anything, but it'll eat a cigarette butt.
Yeah.
That fish. So it's going to eat your lure that's skewed on the side, but the other 49 aren't. So I watched an interesting, I don't know where it was. I think it was just a Facebook clip of one of the boys down south. I don't know, it was Dean Sylvester or one of those guys, but they were talking about using bucktail jigs or their version of bucktail jigs, those big fancy fucking wobbly things. You can make anything these days and make barra want to eat them, eh? But and they were talking about, you know, they get more surface action hits. So they get more hits right at your rod tip than they do out there. So they'll suck that barra up and then, you know, right there at your rod tip, you'll get the hit. So they talk about using less of a leader because the barra down there will actually hear it go click, click, click through your rod tip, the leader.
Yeah.
So if they're that in tune that anything little is going to, you know, change their mind, and it has to be little, like your leader through your rod tip's not much of a noise, but that turns them off.
Yeah.
So it's going to, whether you're live baiting or lure fishing. So
Getting smarter.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know, it's smarter, but it's just instinct. And if it doesn't look right, they're not going to eat it. So, you know, the whole idea of using live bait is to make it look like a mullet. So if you're rigging your mullet to be swimming on its side and only using half the energy and that, you're doing it wrong. So, you know, you want to rig them so that they're actually using twice the energy or 3 times the energy that they would just normally swimming, but it's a similar style, if that makes sense. So, the last thing you want is your bait rolling over or swimming up on an angle like this, and, you know, and it's mud herring are probably the good example of that as well. If you've got a small mud herring and you're running big live bait hooks, sometimes you'll actually put the hook there. And the reason for that is if you put the hook there on a little mud herring, he's just going to flip over. He's trying to swim, but he's going to flip over, and that doesn't look natural. But if he's got enough energy to swim and your hook's pinned there, he's still naturally swimming up and swimming around. So, with your mullets and herring baits as far back as you can without them, falling off. If it's a little herring and you're trying to put a 7 or an 8 hook there, then obviously it'll pin off and fall off on your cast every now and then. So as far back as you can without being detrimental to your bait falling off your hook. Yeah. And then I suppose you may as well go into the leader rigs. We'll fit here.
What do you want?
What do we normally do?
Paternoster.
Paternoster. Why do we use paternoster?
I don't know, just so your bait can swim around freely, and it's got that little bit of what's the word?
A little bit of lax line there.
Yeah. Just so it can.
So why a dropper though? Sinker on the bottom, bait up high. So barra always, they've got
Their eyes
eyes in the top of their head. So they're either facing forward or they're facing up.
Yeah.
So if a barra's head down, and you'll see it on live scope, you'd have seen it many a times, and a barra's like this, and it's like, what the fuck is that thing doing? Well, if you throw up here on his tail, he's not going to see it, but if you throw in front of him, he will. But if a barra's dead straight, he's hardly going to see what's there. So the key is to have it off the bottom, a lot of movement, go from there. There are certain times, fishing beaches and out the fronts where you can use that running sinker, where you say you go your main line, you tie your FG, and then you run a leader with a sinker or whatever size you need down to a swivel, and then a heavier leader to your hook, and then use them as running. The bait will take off and come up, and then your sinker will up and down. But I've personally just gone to droppers. I have no reason to run a running rig anymore. I don't think there is a better reason or any reason for me to change that. There's no better strike rate out of using it compared to a dropper.
Yep.
So, and it doesn't matter whether you got a 30 centimetre mullet on, that dropper's still what you need, keeps it up. So you're tying a dropper rig or?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah. So what? Yeah, you tie, you drop a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's back to front. He's a back to front. I'm an over the topper. Yeah. Cool.
And
So you tie a sinker on the bottom, or do you tie it on the rod tip?
How far do you want that
I
drop
like
up from your
between 30 centimetres and 70 centimetres. Ideally is 50 centimetres. That's exactly what he's sort of at. If you tied it there, that's perfect. Just keeps it up enough. They're going to see it that far off the bottom, even if they're sitting on the bottom, and they're in sand whoops and that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
One thing that you were talking about earlier about the leader not going through the rod tip and just those little things. One, I don't know, it was just interesting sort of to see the behaviour of a barra. One time, I don't know, probably 2 years ago, I was down at Applan's and I had a big live tarpon on, and at my feet there was a school of about 100 bait fish, and I had my live bait in there, and I watched a barra come in, and he could see which one couldn't swim properly, see which one was distressed, and it came in and ate my bait out of the other 100 that was sitting there.
And
so
that's an ambush point. And it makes sense that they do that. But also there's other times where they just wouldn't eat that one.
Yeah.
Your bait still looked like a tarpon, but
Yeah.
he was 20% worse than the rest of the tarpon, which made that barra a bit easier to grab it.
Yeah.
So that'd be the reason for that.
Yeah.
And it is pretty cool seeing that. But if your tarpon was upside down,
Yeah, no
struggling,
way.
and or half, almost dead, he probably wouldn't even
No.
thought about it. So
Yeah. But it is pretty crazy. Just like, I don't know, I feel like people don't give them enough credit for how switched on like a barra can be. Like, it can sense it. Like, obviously when they're feeding aggressively, like, they also can be pretty dumb, and you can get them to eat pretty stupid stuff. But when you need to work for a bite, the difference between just all those little 1%ers that can make you add up fish on those hard days, especially when you're putting a lot of days out on the water, like, you're going to have hard days, and just all those little things just to help you get a little
Well, when
bit
you
better
break
of a
it down,
chance.
like you said there, when they feed or when they don't, like, there's so many different variations of when they feed and how they feed. It's not like they all just trigger and just go bang and they want to eat. When that happens, it's usually a flood scenario, a bit of runoff. Areas like the Bowley and those sort of things where it blows out and they'll buff on the surface. Around our area, I would honestly say it wouldn't be any more than 5 or 6 times in my life I've ever seen them go off their tits, where you just catch them one after another. And that's a lot of days on water to have 5 situations where they're all biting. So 99.99 times we're trying to catch barra is when they're not wanting to feed. They're sitting there relaxing, just doing their thing. They will eat if you present it right, but they're not actually sitting there to eat.
Yeah.
So, you probably your best example of having it ready when they want to eat is when they're going up into the mangroves, or like if you're there before they want to go up, then they will eat something on the way up, and when they come out, they will chew something, and it won't matter what you throw at them, they will eat it. However, most of the time, they just transition or sleeping, and we're trying to get them to bite. So people say, oh, they bit their heads off today, we got 15. Well, no, if you were fishing on a school of 100, if they were biting their heads off, that'd be the days you're getting 60, 70 or 80 live baiting. Happens, but it's not every day. You can go back the next day. We had a session there where our dad, I think we took the brother-in-law and his 2 kids, and I don't know, we got 40 barra or something in 2.5 hours. You go back the next day, same position, same thing, 2, I think, 3. So there's something that triggers them. It's not the fact that they're there to feed at that time. It's just something that triggered them the day before. There's a lot of variations that happen. And most of them aren't because of feeding. It's because something's happened under that water, triggered them, and then they all go on. Oh, Johnny just went boof. Well, fuck it, I better go boof. Another one go boof. So, and that's where I think one of one of the questions Matty was up next was, what do you do when you've landed a barra? Well,
Yep.
when you're guiding, the last thing you do is get carried away with that fish you've got in the scoop. Put it to the side, and you get the guys out for another one. Whether you're lure fishing or live baiting, you've got more chance of getting a bite period straight after a barra than any other time. So you need your bait back into that spot. So I used to always guide where I'd have 5 rods out, 4 rods out, depending what sort of area, or if you only had 3 people on the boat and it was a yellow zone, you'd run 3. I'd always have 1 rod set up on the live bait tank, ready to go, where all I've got to do is pull a bait out, hook it on. It's good. Because what happens is, mate, it's pulling it in, you scoop it, you put the fish on the other side, you chuck that live bait in exactly the same spot, and bang, you get another one. So you always get your rods back in the water and just increase that bite period. And that goes back to the fact that, there's no rhyme and reason for them to actually have a bite time in that area, but something triggered it. And you got that first bite, the rest will start to bite. Sometimes you just take advantage of it. So if you're, and this is the thing, this is the YouTuber and the social media side of people where they go, oh shit, I've got an 80 centimetre barra. How good's this? You could be on a school that's got 20 80 centimetre barra and 30 meteries, and you're too busy taking photos of your 80 centimetre barra to get your metery. So leave it there. It's not going to hurt it on the deck. So especially if you're going to kill it, like if you're keeping it, don't 10 minutes on the deck doesn't change anything when you bleed when you put it on ice. But it will change your bite period if you fuck around with it.
Yeah.
So a lot of charter days back when I first started where I'm like, oh, how good's that? We got the first one, we take a photo and then I'd be like struggling to get five barra for the day, and you'd be like, fuck, we struggled. And then once you learnt that sort of tool, you would change. Yeah, we only got 5 bite times, but we ended up with 20 barra out of it that because you're just multiplying. So, and that's why, like, even when we went for a fish, I think the first time with Deacon, it's like you get a barra and you pull it in the boat and just fucking undo it and get back into the snag. So that's the key with it.
Treat it like bacon. Just leave it there.
Apparently so.
Yeah, so that's one of the most important thing. I think the one of the most fundamentally important things is people don't understand what that barra is actually doing when it bites. And I get a lot of people talk to me and go, "Oh yeah, we found them chewing. You got 4 barra. They weren't chewing. There's 50 barra there. If they were going to chew, you would have fucking every single one of them would be after your lure. So when they go off their tits, they go off their tits. So." 99.9% of our barra are finding them and getting them to eat, trying to get them to eat.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think Dom said the same thing that week we were up the Hinchinbrook. So him and his brother just one in after the other.
yeah,
No fucking around.
it's the only way to do it. But and I think the other thing is a lot of people don't realise the barra mainly feed at night. They're sitting in areas during the day to just chill out. Because you go back into those areas at night, they're not there. They're up in the shallows having a feed. So, and especially those areas that have a lot of freshwater barra that have come out. So, those guys, yourself, freshwater barra love feeding at night under lights somewhere or doing what they're doing. When they go into saltwater, that doesn't change.
No.
That's all they've known. Go in.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry if you can hear the police chopper. There's probably more kids stealing cars in Townsville. Seems to be that might be like the new mascot for Townsville.
But like around Townsville, like for me, I don't even waste, like in the fresh, in the Ross, don't even waste my time fishing during the day. When I first came here, I did put a fair few hours into it. It's not even worth it, eh? Like you go in at night and you're actually getting fish to feed, like they just switch off. Like they're still there during the day, but they don't want to eat, and you can't make them eat. You can eat, like even with a live bait, you can struggle. Like if they don't want to eat, you can put a lure on their nose, you can change, put a million different things on, try everything. But at the end of the day, one thing like with live scope, if you're watching it and you see fish and you're presenting a good lure right in front of them and they're turning away, like not eating it. Like,
Yeah, your next cast is make sure you hit him on the head and annoy the shit out of him because he's
Yeah.
pissed you off.
Well, it's funny you say that because me and Kimmy have gone down a couple of afternoons, probably the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they're lazy. They
Super.
we go right. So we normally get there about 3 o'clock and fish till about 6. But by what you're saying, we should probably stay there a bit longer.
Because they're not lazy.
A lot of
That's just
fish there, and
their
they turn
whole
on it.
movement is
Yeah.
feeding at night.
yeah.
It's
Well,
not
they
that they're
turn on the
lazy
lures,
during
but
the
they're just
day.
not eating.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, in there, like, in the fresh, like, sometimes they just, like, fuck with shit, eh? Like, you'll have certain times, like, I had one night with my mate, we were fishing in there, and we caught, I think, like, I don't know, 8 or 9 fish for the night. I don't think we hooked one of them in the mouth, eh? Sometimes, I don't know what it is, you might have seen this as well, but
Happens a lot.
it's like they're not coming at, like, they're nearly just, like, headbutting it. Like, maybe they're thinking they'll hit it, then come back and eat it, but we just had one night where they were just coming up. Like, if you were using like a weedless plastic, you would not have hooked one of them. Like, they were all hooked, like, between the eyes with, like, the stinger trebles. So sometimes they just do weird stuff. But, yeah, in there, yeah, they just seem, I don't know, I've never had much luck during the day. And now, since I only sort of fish there at night, and your bite times are pretty big in there, in the fresh, like, there's a lot of bait in there. There's a lot of big tilapia. There's bait everywhere. Like, if it wants to eat, it doesn't need to try to get a feed. Like, they'll just sit and weed for hours and just sit there and do nothing. If they want to eat a tilapia, they can move, go up in a shallow bank and find a school of 100 of them and eat one. So they don't need to eat. They'll eat when they want to eat. So it's pretty important to be there when they are actually going to eat, because they're not going to try super hard because they know they can just go up and get an easy feed whenever they want.
Yep.
But that answers why they wouldn't eat during the day as well, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Not why would you?
yeah.
So,
Especially, yeah, like the noise and everything, like even like at night, like I'd rather go like late at night, like when it's super quiet, like if there's heaps of stuff going on, I don't know, just fish behaviour, I guess. They learn when they want to eat, when they don't want to eat, and that's just what they do. Like, there's no reason for them to eat during the day when there's stuff going on and people are fishing. Especially a lot of people in there with live scope. I feel like it's, like, there's only so many fish in there, and there's more often than not a boat in there with live scope chasing a fish around.
Sorry.
Yeah. So,
That's who that bloke was swearing at me.
yeah.
So, after the boat placement and everything we've talked about, why is it important?
did we talk about boat placement?
No,
Yes, we did, didn't we?
no.
No.
No, not at all.
I think we skipped the
No,
Jeez, you just
we
wants to
did.
go home. It's a Friday.
Yeah.
No, I literally
I think we
thought
just-
we
Yeah.
talked
No,
about
we
it.
did. We missed it.
I think we just
So where are you?
skipped the question.
Well, where are we setting the boat up then,
Yeah.
boss?
Well, on top of the fish. Pretty simple, eh?
Shit.
Wow, who would have thought?
Next question.
Who would have thought?
Bang, done. In
So
the
boat-
water, preferably to start with.
So what would boat placement be? Like, if I said boat placement to you guys, what's boat placement means, apart from it, on top of the fish?
Well, to me, where are you going to put yourself to present your bait in the best spot where it's going to sit naturally and where a fish is going to eat it?
Yeah, simple. Let's go on the next one. No, but yeah, you're dead right. So that's the whole idea. So there's no point being at, we talk about lure fishing, and I like to be at about 45 degrees to whatever snag I'm fishing. Well, there's no point being that way for live baiting.
Yeah.
Because you want to present that lure, the live bait with the tide straight, and keep your rod straight, and have that right in the spot that you want to be, not constantly just throwing and then letting it drift across. Sometimes there's situations that does work there, but yeah, you want to be just having them there with that bait in the zone, looking the best for as long as possible.
So let's say you got a snag
Yep.
that you want to fish, and obviously your tide's going to be going one way. Where are you putting your boat? How are you going to anchor that up, and where are you going to want your baits to sit on that snag, behind the snag, in front of the snag, on the bank side of the snag? What are you doing from start to finish, from when you pull up to when you're putting a line in.
Well, first off, you want to see where they are sitting on that snag. So you're sounding to make sure that they're there. Whether you're live scoping or whether you're actually just side imaging, and that snag's got plenty on it. Where they're sitting on that snag. A lot of the times, throughout different times of the tide, they will sit in different areas on that snag. So you're going to live bait that for 30 minutes, and you're going to say, well, we're staying here for 30 minutes. Well, you may as well have a spread to start off with. So position yourself so that the prime spot that you think right in front of that snag is actually dead centre of the vessel. So you anchored 2 anchors. So whether you're tying off onto the bank, throw your back anchor, pull tight, or whether you back anchor, front anchor and just pulling. The key is to have your boat steady. So you're not doing this with the tide. And sometimes it's hard with wind against tide and all of that sort of scenario. There's so many different scenarios that are a pain in the arse. But if you can have your back anchor, like traditionally my back anchor's got a longer chain and a bigger anchor on it than the front one, because I can tie the front one up into the snag. So you just loop it over on a snag. I throw the back one and then I can lock them as tight as I can. The back one's wedged. Pain in the arse to get out, but it's wedged. And then we're stationary. So you've got to work out, where your snag is on your bank, how far back you want to be. So a lot of that's got to gauge with how much tide there is and what baits you're using too. So if you're using live prawns, you can be a little bit closer to the bank, closer to the snag, so you can drop them down and then drift them through it. If you're using live mullet and live herring, you want to be a little bit further back, have them just in front of the snag. Because if you're through the snag with a live mullet or a herring, they'll swim sideways and they'll just be a pain in the arse and they'll get stuck on the snag. Whereas a prawn, you can sort of drift it through. So position yourself so that, say you're using live prawn, you want to be 5 metres from the snag, nice and tight, and then you can throw your prawns out. And then you'll just get them to drift. So with the prawns, sinker-wise, you only want just enough weight so that you just touch bottom. And then when you lift up, it'll go backwards a bit with the tide, and you can keep moving it through into the snag. So you're almost drifting it into the snag and doing the opposite of what you would do if you anchored the other side and threw lures back through the snag. So, with prawn, you're drifting. With live mullet, you want to plonk it, basically, if looking at the camera, if that's your snag, your boat's here, you want to plonk your live mullet right in front of the snag and have it just vibrating straight in front and annoy the shit out of those fish to come out. So how I'd present on a snag, say it was 2 metres wide of actual snag, I'd have two on one side, 1 on the inside, 2 at the front, 5 live baits done. So, and exactly like we talked about when you get a barra and you throw another one in, well, if you get a barra on the outside, put a couple more on the outside. They might just be, working there, or that might be the congregation. There'll be times where you got that one on the outside to bite, and there might have been 30 in there. It'll stuff you up, but most of the time where you get one to bite, there's a few more that will be willing. So, focus on where they're biting on that snag, because current has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. And then as far as their setup, your hook of fish, we talked about this earlier, saying how it's important to leave it in the rod holder to let it hook up. So
when you're live baiting, it's the hardest thing I ever did was learn to try and be a rod holder by holding it. So if a barra loads up with a Carly hook, so they're Carly or wide gap or whatever they want to call them now. So when a barra loads up on that, if it's looking this way and you pull, it'll pull out every time of its mouth. If it turns and swims, and then it will hook in the jaw every single time. So they're made to roll in the jaw when the fish is swimming in the opposite direction. So the last thing you want to do is pick the rod up and then try and strike when you think he's there. Because if he's facing any angle towards you, you've got like a 1 out of 10 chance of getting that hook wedged in his mouth. If he's facing the opposite way, you're like a 99% chance of hooking him. So leave them in the rod holder, wait till they swim the opposite direction. They get the bend in the rod. Once there is firmness in that bend in the rod, you can just wind it, and that sets that hook. It just rolls it in their jaw, and they're hooked every time. But if you pick it up, let that looseness out before the hook's actually jammed, you'll lose 90% of them. And we've done plenty of charters where I've benched people because they keep pulling it out of the rod holder. And it's like after the fourth fish, it's like, no, you can sit on that side of the boat now. And by the time you actually get to that rod holder on the next one, he will have already hooked himself, and then you've got the barra. And that's what needs to happen. And old mate goes, fuck, you were right. Took me ages to get over there, but once I got over there, it was hooked. And it's like, yeah, stop touching the rod. Like, wind the slack up on the rod so you've got movement in your rod tip with the bait.
Yeah.
And always have that. If your rod's not doing that, there's no point having a lively on board. It's silly. You need to be constant movement, and that comes back with how tight you pull your anchor and with the tide.
Yeah.
That needs to be pressure on that rod. So, yeah. So the key is always in the rod holder and wind that tightness and roll that hook in their mouth and set it. And once it's set, doesn't matter what you do after that. Very, very hard for them to spit a carly out once it's jammed in that side. It happens, obviously, but it's hard to get it. So, yeah.
There's nothing more frustrating than people touching shit they just shouldn't.
Yeah, but they don't know, and that's the thing is, if you're 6 days into it, and you haven't got a barra for 4 hours into the charter, and then suddenly they go bang, miss it, bang, miss it, bang, miss it. You're like, oh fuck, this is wearing thin.
I'm only talking about some friends that I've taken fishing.
Yeah,
Mr. Clinton Burns, if you're listening.
Oh, he's fucking
How come I'm not
name
catching
dropping
any
people.
fish? That fucking rod's out every 10 minutes checking the thing. Just put it down and leave it.
Leave it in, yeah. And that's why some of the best days we've ever had live baiting for barra, big mullet and drunks. Guys who just want to sit there and have a beer, nothing else. And they let you as a guide just tighten up the rods, walk down that side, tighten them all up, cast them out, do what you need to do. And then they'll just turn up when the drag goes. And they're the bet. Like, it's just easy. It's like, okay, yep, drag's gone. That one's ready.
They don't even care
And they
about their
pull it
fish when they get it up.
No, once they got it. Well, no, they do. They care about it then. But up until that point, it's not really a worry. It's almost like the marlin fishing for barra. Marlin fishing mentality, We'll drive around, do everything we need, but I don't want it until it's 300 pound. So unless there's less than 300 pound, I don't want it. And then suddenly you have that with barra. I don't want to touch anything, but once it's hooked, then I'll take over.
Yeah.
And that's actually easier as a guide. And you hear a lot of stories. I had some clients on last week that said, one of the guides they took out the year before, they paid for a charter and he just wouldn't let them touch the rod, whatever. And it's like, well, I sort of understand it, but there's got to be a bit of leeway there. You've got to educate them, not just say, sit down, I'll do everything until we hook the barra.
So
you've got to actually educate them in it and give them an opportunity to lose fish. Because it's better if they lose fish.
And they know, they learn.
So there's nothing better than a charter where you do not catch a metre barra, but you lost 5. You jump 5 metre barra. Those clients are coming back.
Yeah, there's always that chance.
You land those 5 metre barra, they're never coming back because they've had the greatest day of their life. They've caught meteries, they're all done, they've ticked it off. Very rarely are they going to want to come back. They've already done the pinnacle of barra fishing for them. So, sometimes you've got to let them lose them and also teaches them for next time as well.
So
And some days you'll get that, you'll teach them in the morning and they're all done and prim and proper in the afternoon and they're smashing them.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
if it was you fishing with a live bait and you were just out by yourself, whatever, your dad wanted a barra for dinner, are you holding it or are you leaving it in the
No,
rod
leaving
holder?
it in the rod holder. I used to hold it. Yeah. And even now I know that there's less
Even
chance.
now you just
even
leave it in
even
there.
now where I like that dunk,
Yeah.
I like to feel that dunk.
Yeah.
I like to see it in the rod holder. I like to sit back and even like and it's the coolest thing when you're bending down trying to get a live bait out of the other side of the boat and then you hear through the boat and you're like, one of you guys is on A and they look at you. It's like one of those rods is going to go, like that was a barra dunk. And you're not even looking, it's behind you. And they're like, no. And then you stand up, turn around, the second one, off it goes. And it's like,
It's crazy how there's that, like for any other fish.
Yeah.
And then it's just that.
yeah.
It's almost like that, like that.
That's
and
it,
then people
that's-
like, and
that's
they
so
take it
addictive.
and then they just sit there. Because like a barrel will suck on whatever they
Sometimes I'll just sit there and other
got. And
times
people
they'll
don't
just go
realise that.
straight
And then
up.
you're like, hook it.
That's what's so addicting.
Yeah.
It's just that.
And that's what I'm saying. The hardest thing is when they go dunk, he swims over and eats the bait. You're pulling from this way. The last thing you need to do is pull it. You need to wait till he turns. If you're running a J hook, probably not. as much. Well, the old man used to run true turns. You probably get away with it a little bit better with true turns, but no, I just find the wide gaps are just, that style of live baiting is just the way to go.
So probably another important thing just to touch on, when they're sitting in the rod holders, what are you setting your drag, how you want to fight the fish the whole time? How
I do. Yeah, a lot of people say you have it looser and then you tighten it, but with clients, you don't want to be tightening drag. It's like being out the reef and you know, you have it a little bit loose, and then when you hook that bigger fish, you tighten it up. The shark will whack you by then.
Yeah.
But when you're in the creeks, he'll be around the snag before you blink. So I like having the same amount of pressure on that drag, and it's fairly tight. Like, you know, a 60 centimetre barra will peel, you know, maybe a metre of line, and that's all he can peel. He just physically can't peel anymore because that's our tension on my line. But an 80 centimetre is going to probably take 5, 6, 7 metres, you know.
Yeah.
So that fairly tight
Yeah.
is where I'm at, and
So-
I leave them all as one. Gotta love dogs, eh? You're talking about the chopper and little kids stealing cars, like they're probably trying to jump
Wide
the fence.
eyes,
How cool would it be if we just have one jump the fence and my dogs just maul the crap out of them?
Wide
it probably wouldn't be. The
Wide
court
eye
case wouldn't be
Zuzu
good.
heading down Dalrymple Road. I walk outside.
Yeah.
So, like, does the size of the tides dictate how you're hooking up your bait and what sort of bait you're using?
Yeah, so it goes back to whether you're going to go through the nose if there's a lot of current. So you just have that bait sitting in the current and doing its thing. But yeah, if it's small enough, then tides wise, then you want them hooking through the back and just having that vibration through your rod tip.
Yeah.
So,
So I know we like neat tides when we're throwing with like plastics and that. Is it the same sort of deal with the
similar.
with bait or?
Like I like neat tides of plastic, but some of our best sessions have been 2.5 metres a run, and it's just a matter of lining up where the fish are. And
Yeah.
I like it because they congregate a lot easier on the smaller tides. So it's pretty idiot proof when you can find barra and throw at them, and you're just trying to get them to bite. So let him out too. He's got to love them. Go on, outside. Dogs.
Just lock that
No,
door, Matty,
got 'em.
so we can't open it.
Yeah, that's a better way.
Bang.
Yeah, so that's how you don't get your car stolen. Is you have two of those and a red cattle dog.
Yeah, the red cattle dog, he can fuck off.
Yeah. He's not liking anyone at the moment, eh?
Oh, mate.
He's not far from biting one of you boys.
No.
No.
Because he's just walking in like you own the place.
Deacon's safe.
Oh yeah.
Because
No,
he looks at
I'm
Deacon.
not.
he
No,
look-
I'm not.
No,
he
he's
looks
not.
at
He
Deacon
ran
and
straight
go, "Oh,
past
we're
me."
red stick together."
Yeah, no, they don't.
No,
No, they don't.
no, he definitely doesn't. He
So, like with the tides and that, does the moon phase have a big play on all of it?
Oh, it's one of those things. If you're going to stick with the moon phase, then you're going to make excuses for yourself.
I know you don't really care about it that much, do you?
Yeah.
I've heard you say that before.
No, don't give a shit about it. But it does influence the tides.
Yeah.
So all I'm worried about is the movement in that tide for that area and that spot. I'm not worried about what time of the moon phase it is,
Horoscope.
So yeah. So it's one of those ones where you're probably a bit more in tune in the fresh.
Heat.
The lead up to a full moon's always going to be the best fishing when you're talking, or any sort of fishing really. I think anything that feeds at night, the lead up to the full moon's always going to be a goer, and then the lead up to the new. But yeah, I think with Barra, yeah, and the closer you get to the full moon, the harder you can get in areas. So right on that day each side of the moon up in Hinchy, it's always hard going. Certain areas are bad, but then sometimes across the bay here and the day of the full moon you get them to bite during the day. So it's not necessarily a be all and end all. Yeah, I know Dean. I was chatting to Dean the other day about it, and he's like, "Oh, I don't mind the falling tides." So and it's like, yeah, you just need to be on them and seeing their reaction. And that's the difference with live scope. Much as people say it's cheating and blah, 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 it's just about working out how they are. Now, if you're in areas and you have 100 barra sitting in there, at some stage I can get them to bite. So if I find a 100 metre barra at some stage throughout that day, every day, I'll get one to bite at least.
And that's 100 1
It's-
metre barrows. The amount of times I've said 100 metre barrow and people are like, you got 100 metre barrow.
That's a
I'm
big
like,
barrow.
fuck me.
Yeah, no, there's specials in the world. Yeah. But yeah, the key is if you're on top of that many fish or throwing at that many fish, then eventually you'll find one that will aggravate and eat what you're throwing at them.
Yeah.
So,
Do you think with that live scope, I mean, I agree that you can sit there and make one eat, but do you think some people could get caught up trying to make fish that don't want to eat when they could go and fish a different area and potentially get a better result out of it?
oh, 100%. Yeah, and that's why I have two or three casts that are fish. If I don't like it, I'm going to hit him on the head. Fuck him, he can move on. Like, if he's not going to eat my lure, then I'm going to rock his world, and I've got an ounce jig head hitting him on the head, and he'll get bumped and he'll get straight off. Because I've annoyed him, he's moved on. I might be able to get back to him at another stage, and I might have just woken him up for that.
Yeah.
So totally different kid out looking for metre barra or big barra, anything over 90 centimetres in the fresh.
Yeah.
It's a totally different way of fishing. You're actually just finding and casting. There's no, it's not a technique. It's not, based on the way the tide is. There is no bite period as such for those individual fish that are moving through. And we've shown that in our fishing. You go down one day, you smack 2 or 3 meteries, you go down the next day at exactly the same time where you thought the bite period was good, you got nothing.
Yeah.
But 4 hours later, bam, they bite.
Yeah.
And it's like, it has nothing to do with the bite period. It has to do with how you place that lure in front of that fish and individually on merit that fish. You fishing that fish, not based on what times of tide. So, 50 to 80 centimetre fish, totally different story. We'll go into it, and where the areas we fish, there are better times. So they're totally different kettle of fish. So you need to be in certain spots as soon as that tide moves. You've got an hour there, and then you need to be up further in another patch. And
Did you find when you first started using live scope that you might have spent more time? Because obviously when you don't have live scope, you pull up on a snag, you can know there's fish there, but there's only so long you're going to sit there and not catch something before you move on because you haven't caught it. Whereas with live scope, you're looking at a fish, swimming around, you can sit there and follow that, like try and catch that fish for 3 hours because you're actively looking at it. Whereas you're not going to do that if you don't, like, most people without a live scope aren't going to sit there and cast at one snag for 5 hours.
no, 100% not.
Did you
you're gonna
find
move,
yourself
you're gonna
fall in
find-
that when you first got live scope? You'd sort of get fixated on a fish and try and make it to eat?
I probably got more fixated on the smaller fish, trying to get them to eat, and then it comes back to what I just sort of said with bite periods on those fish.
Yeah.
And you can't get, it's hard to get them to start biting before a bite period, whereas the bigger fish you can. So
It's like watching an episode of Cliffhanger with these two dogs on the back porch.
I don't know what they're doing, but gotta love
Jagger
it.
seems to like putting himself underneath Bailey, and Bailey's like, you best fuck off.
But yeah, so with live scope, I found myself not leaving snags or not leaving areas for a longer period of time because I thought they got to fucking bite soon. And it's not until I go back to my memory bank where, okay, well that was my run in that creek was to go here, here, and here. That was always my push. I'd find that they'd bite period at the mouth at this time, and usually 2 bends from the mouth this time. Suddenly you'd run up another creek and fish snag fish because you knew at that mid tide they'd get bites. So then you have to just use the live scope in that manner to aid it. So having that knowledge prior to live scope means you're getting 2 to 3 times the fish after live scope if you were going to chase small ones. So like I've put the blinkers on this year for small fish. Doesn't interest me. That's just how I'm going to be this year. I'll only be chasing big fish. So, but in regards to training you guys, you got to know when to be in those areas. So there is bite times for those smaller fish. So
Is there different setups to like? I mean, I obviously know the question, but it's just to fishing a snag, to fishing a hole.
Do you?
Sort of say, like, let's just say, for instance, the bowley. It's got the rock bar
The
and a couple of big
bowley,
holes out the
the
front. Like,
bowley.
are you setting up differently, like that
Out on the rock
that
bar?
knot you tied there, as opposed to like a running sinker or something like that?
So would you
Yeah.
tie different knots
Yeah,
to
so we
different
used
situations?
to. So we used
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Like basically now I just run it all as dropper rigs. It wouldn't matter. But the bowley was a good one where we fished a rock bar or one of the rock bars at the mouth, and the current change. I think we talked about it a while ago. Like you can anchor up, so we're in that situation where you're in the perfect spot. There's the rock bar. There's your boat. Current's dead straight to it. You know, we talked about that, but then what had happened is once it go over the top of some of the sandbars, the current would be coming at that angle then, or the opposite angle. So you would either have to, pivot your boat back and pull your anchors one way or the other way, or what we ended up doing was, when we're open water with the big baits, we'd run that running sinker that I talked about with a bigger front leader, and you'd throw up from the rock bar, and you'd throw all your baits up, and they'd all move slowly. So as the last one would get out of the zone, you'd pull that in and you'd throw it back to the front, swap your rods back, and the next one would be ready to go soon. Every 2 minutes or 3 minutes, you'd be pulling a rod up and throwing it at the front. And what that did was actually bring those big baits past all those fish on that rock bar, not just have them sitting on the front going like that. So you would actually cover more territory, especially if you staggered each bait as it went past. Mm-hmm. So if you looked at it, you're almost flooding a finger of baits across the whole area. So you've put those baits in the prime spots. You've got more chance of putting those baits in the prime spot than just plonking them and sitting them there. So there are situations where you will use a running sinker, but dropper rigs would do the same thing if you just get that sinker to the right.
A little bit lighter.
Yeah, a little bit lighter, so it just drags. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, that's all the topics you want to cover. Is there anything else you want to go on with?
Well, we'll go into depth with it all when we start a bit more of that style of fishing. I think Cody's probably going to be more in tune to the lure side of it and enjoy that a lot more. I think Deacon, I just think you're better off going down the road that I went off with live baiting.
Is that starting out?
Yeah, and I think it's probably more an age thing. Like if, say you've got 3 40-year-olds on the boat and Cody turns up at 21 and it's like, well, yep, we know what we're doing, we're confident we're doing it, blah, blah, blah. And Deacon's at 18, and it's like, there's always been that whole, well, you're too young. What would you know?
Heard that before.
And regardless, by the time he's 18, he's going to be 10 times better than 99% of people in this town. But that's not going to matter when it comes to some old fart who thinks he knows what he's doing and jumps on the boat. And the worst thing is people who think they know how to fish to come on charter rather than people who are just listening. Yeah. Yeah.
One of them's name's Matty.
Get your license, Junior. Get your license, Junior.
You say you would have, but the government just doesn't allow you to.
It's not my fault.
Not his ability, because I can guarantee you he can reverse a fucking 22-foot Pathfinder, tandem trailer down a ramp better than you can, because he can do it better than I can.
How's the
Shouldn't
charters?
really say that though, eh?
No.
Yeah.
How's the charters that you have done gone so far?
Yeah, not too bad, hey. Yeah. We had one struggle of a day where we just struggled our ass completely off.
Was that due to the weather and the fresh, or
it was mainly the fresh and where we fished and how we fished with the fresh. It was it was a difficult day, and then we smacked some on another chart and smacked some good ones. So, and then when this fresh pisses off, we'll do quite a lot more.
are you any closer to going down and trying out the new boat?
It's something we've got to discuss this week on what our time frame is. From all accords, it's still on track for the end of this month, but we'll see.
Stay tuned for podcast on the boat.
On the boat.
live baiting.
Live baiting off that
Set up
boat.
in the Pathy on the rock bar.
Fuck no, I'm not setting up in
In the
that thing.
bowley.
The big boat.
No, the big boat he's talking about. Sideways.
The big boat in the bowley.
54-footer at the mouth of the bowling. Anchored sideways.
40 live baits
Yeah,
out. You know
40,
you
40
covered.
rods out there.
Yeah.
Got to get one of them to eat.
But Matty going to make an appearance when it gets up here? Or
Yeah, I hope so. He was always keen on doing at least one of the runs, whether he comes up for the whole lot or whether him and the family do the first one to, maybe to Rockhampton or something and do the. Yeah. But I dare say it all comes down to weather. Some people like being out in the rough and some people don't. So, like he's pretty good. He'll handle the rough, but he wouldn't take the family and do that. So it just depends. There's lots of variances. Could happen.
I just hope that the weather changes soon. I'm fucking over it.
Yeah, I'm sick of the rain. I need to poison.
You're
the
not
yard.
sick of the rain?
No, I'm sick of it.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah. No, I'm ready to poison the yard, and it's just not giving me a day to go out and do it, or Deacon a day to go out and do it.
Yes,
And what are you doing? You're going to Cardwell this weekend, I hear.
maybe.
Maybe.
If
Are you turning into Jack?
the rain
Where'd you go? Oh, just up the beach.
Catching anything? Yeah.
What are you doing in Cardwell?
Nah.
see grandparents.
Oh, okay.
Go
I
for a
didn't realise
fish.
they're up there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, go see them. They think they're gonna retire and start a lap of Australia. So,
Oh, yeah.
Aren't they retired already?
I think Nan is.
All right.
Granddad's not.
Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah, cool. I can think of nothing worse.
go see them before they leave.
Good drive.
Lap of Australia.
Lap of Australia in a boat would be sick.
Yeah, it'd have to be the right boat, though. Hey?
That'd
Yeah,
be the
not a 6 metre tinny. It'd have to be the right boat. Vanguard would be good. Oh, I'd love to go to TI.
Are you offering?
I'd love to go to Torres Straits in it.
We will.
We will.
We will.
Much.
Okay.
Thank
you.
you.
You plan it. You just tell us when
Gonna
to
happen.
organise and all of this.
Is
gonna
there
happen.
much on this week, charter-wise?
No, we have 4 booked in
Next week?
next week.
Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Thursday.
But yeah, I've talked to Sundays and I'm going to go for a bit of a fish and a look myself tomorrow. So Sunday's trip will be based on that. They're happy to postpone. There is a lot of fresh.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of whether we can find some decent fish tomorrow. I've got no interest in just going just to put the money in the bank.
Yeah. You want to give the
Yeah.
client something to sort of.
Well, it's
Remember.
one of those things. If you have a bad day, I'm the most disappointed out of it, and that's what people don't understand. It's like they say, we want to go, and it's like, well, that's good, but what happens if we don't catch anything, and I can't guarantee it? Then what's the attitude going to be? Because I'm going to be pissed off with the whole situation. I'll take the money off you, but I've never been happy just to take money off people. It's always been about catching. So it's one of those things. I'm probably more disappointed when we have bad days than the clients.
Yep.
So
What about you, Coz? Much on this week?
Bit of work at BCF. Oh, I also work at BCF.
Oh, do you?
BCF and fun.
Yeah. No, I got work at BCF over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And,
I feel like that's where I have seen you before, actually. How long have you been there for?
since 2 years.
Yeah, no, I definitely would be because Matty's a serial pest. Goes in, talks to everyone.
He talks shit.
You do though.
Loves going into tackle shops.
At the fish and warehouse, I feed the kids.
Did he not go to Tackle World? He went to Tackle World too.
I went to Tackle World with you, you wanker, and then we sat around for fucking an hour talking because you're a celebrity.
No, you're the celebrity. You got pulled over at the boat ramp the other day,
He
mate.
yelled at
True.
me. Speaking
Hey.
of, shout out to Lachlan.
Lachlan.
Good kid.
Okay.
Nice bloke.
What good kid, nice bloke.
She
So
said
there's
he's
a difference between a bloke and a kid. So how old's Lachlan?
Well,
So we're giving him a
I'm
shout
talking
out.
about people younger than me. So,
Oh, is he younger than you?
yeah.
Really?
We're the same age, you dickhead.
Yeah.
What
but
happened?
that's-
What?
Oh, Matty got celeb.
Oh, first time, mate.
Yeah, I said to him, you
Do not
get a
tell me
chopper?
that you don't
you
know.
get a
There's
chopper?
this dickhead here wouldn't have been able to help it.
No,
He
I
would've
didn't
told
tell
you
him.
straight away.
I didn't tell him at all.
No, I got no idea what you're talking about.
Cody, Do not trust these two dickheads.
No, so give us,
Because
so
they,
you met,
Tell me.
yeah.
I'm confused.
One of our long-term listeners.
most of the
for
time,
podcasts.
most of the time they play off each other perfectly.
Most of the time, but when we don't, he accuses us of all.
So
No, tell us the story, because I got a little chuffed that you got chuffed.
I was at the.
No, tell me.
Yeah, you told
You
me,
got
but
chuffed, and he's just like, "Oh, do you feel like a celebrity?" I'm like, "Mate, have you seen me at the poker? Everyone knows me."
Listen to him. Listen.
So
to
what
him.
happened? What's the
I
yarn?
put it- I
What
put it
happened
in
at the fucking boat ramp? Let's get to
I
it.
put it in the boat ramp.
Lachlan.
Lachlan.
We know Lachlan.
Lachlan's
Good
old man
kid,
went to
young.
get his car, and then as I think I just got in the water, and I started. He's like, "Oh, you're the lad from the podcast," and I was like, "Yeah, which podcast?" And then he just said he
How many
listens, and
podcasts you been on?
Which one did he know you
this one-
from?
No, I could have been talking about any podcast. I just wanted to make sure.
Where? Two
was
Fat
ours.
Women podcast? Or
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Two Fat Women podcast?
Cancellation
Is
in
that
jail.
you,
you
Benny?
can't say
Is
that.
that you, Benny?
Can't say that.
Elbo's going to put us in jail now. Fuck.
Can't say that.
I would actually hate being in a cell with you, I reckon.
Yeah, you would. You fucking would. You would.
But yeah, no, you just said g'day. Any fan of what's been going on with this
Yeah,
podcast?
cool.
So it's always
It's
good to hear.
interesting. After Dom's podcast, the one in Ingham,
Local.
Wild Local. Yeah, thanks for that.
I'd be interested to see how many words Dom actually said in that podcast.
14,874, I think it was. Maybe 75.
I'd say a little bit more than that, eh?
Yeah. No, I reckon it was too.
He
but-
gets going. You just
He
let
gets
him,
going.
Just let him go.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe I was sitting here doing these ones going.
Even the one time I've met him when we dropped off fish to him, and it was just like, can we go? like love him, like he's a good bloke, but
Love
just,
you, Dom.
Just sat there for.
Why did you go fishing with him?
Yeah.
Nah, he's good. He's real good.
And you
But no,
forget,
had a lot of good feedback. Out
and
of
you
that,
forget
eh?
the live scope.
Yeah.
I think
Well, that
every
was so
time
last year.
I think every time I've heard Dom's name, that's come up.
That live scope. I know.
'Cause it
It's
was
getting
funny.
old. It's getting old, isn't it?
Yeah, it is getting old.
Getting old.
'Cause it was
Fucking
funny.
old. Still called fish.
Yeah.
But no, there was a lot of good feedback with that podcast. I think it opened the eyes of a lot of that commercial side. I think they always just saw me as a one-eyed wanker when it come to the rec side. But for me, it's all about the right conversations with the right people. So if you're outside of your little playground and trying to be in a conversation where you shouldn't be, then I'll call you on that. And so should someone call me on that. So. The right conversations with the right people, and
I think it's important too that everyone has a say. Like there's opinions coming from everywhere. Like no one gets shut down.
well, yes and no. See, this is where we've got to go back to though. Like, and I'm not trying to get too political here, but like if you're a grader driver, do you feel you should have a say on how those fucking traffic lights down the road go? No. Right. Yeah. So I look at when we're talking about recreational, commercial, and all those. So from the commercial point of view, if you're a reef fisherman who's never fished for barra and is never gonna line fish for barra, I don't think you should be
That's fair.
commenting on the barra fishing side. If you're a pro netter or a pro line fisherman for barra, then you should be in the conversation. So if you're a yellow belly fisherman from Mount Isa,
I was going
wherever,
beat me.
you know what I mean? But say you're from Mount Isa and you're never ever gonna fish salt water in your life, and you know you're never going to. Why should you have a say on what happens? Why should you feel that you should have a voice on what happens with line fishing or netting with barramundi? That's where I'm at. So I think the right people in the right places need to be in the right conversations. So, and I'm willing to call people out on that. Doesn't faze me. And both ways, recreational, commercial, whatever. I think the days of one-eyed arrogance needs to stop, and we need to look at the future as a whole. So I think that conversation with Dom, I think, shocked a lot of the guys in the commercial side to who I was. And we didn't even go into much depth there, which is good. So, but yeah, that's sort of where we are.
So what's lined up after the aftermath of that?
Well,
conversation
we're going to
then?
we'll have Reece Bullimore on from the recreational side of it. So, there's no point giving people from just one side a go. We'll go with Reese. Reese is a ball of knowledge and his understanding of it all. And, and same deal. Like, I'll always have that point of view where I'm for the whole fishery. I'm not just going to be siding with someone. So, Reese is very, very much, pro-rec. Like, it's all about rec fishing for him. So that conversation has to come across where, he's putting forward the recreational side and what they want. And I'll be rebutting with what I feel that the commercial side could be needing or what is needed. And then we'll probably have a few conversations. I know there's a couple of the guys who have sort of put their foot in it and wanted to be on the podcast thinking that I would call back on it. And no, I'm not. So I'll open that up to those two guys too. Like, you want to say in a post that maybe you should jump on a podcast, but answer the questions properly. So it's about getting the right information out to the right people, not just having a whinge.
And not picking and choosing what you can put out there.
So if you're going to sit there and try and call me out on something that I've said, whether it's line fishing or charter fishing or recreational fishing, then be expected to be called out on your side of it too. Because if you're telling fibs, it's going to come out.
No one likes fibbers.
Nope. And that's why I think we're at a crossroad here with Fisheries Queensland, and with everything that's in play moving forward. I think the right people need to be in the right say at the moment. Otherwise, we've seen what happens in WA. We don't want to be part of that. So, I don't want to be sitting here in 3 years' time being irate at someone because I can't fish an area because they were too arrogant to listen to all sides, whether that's commercial or pro, commercial or recreational. If I'm locked out of an area and I can't fish it and I know there's enough stocks and it's sustainable, and I'm seeing more what's under the water than anyone else on the water. And this is the other bit that irks me, is the fact that there's people out there commenting saying, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no problem being called out, but when they're not spending a tenth of the time that I am on the water looking under the water, then I don't think they need to have a say. So that might just be a bit of arrogance on my end, but I think it's just the way the world should be. I'd only want to listen to the guys if I was trying to study something that I didn't know anything of. I'd want to listen to the guys who've done it and have been there and spent the time doing it.
Yep.
Not some desk jockey.
I'd be interested to see if the old Premier would mind coming on. I know probably not big enough for him, but I think hearing his point of view on it as well.
Yeah.
And what he's being told.
Yep.
That'd be.
Yeah, I think you should just start at the maybe the mayor first.
Yeah, the mayor. Is that the new? I don't even know who it is. DiMatteo?
Oh well, that's fucking one way of getting Nick on board, eh? We don't even know who you are. Only half of our podcast knows who you are, mate. But would you come on?
I just didn't want to get his name right. DiMatteo, yeah.
What?
DiMatteo.
DiMatteo. I don't fucking know.
DiMatteo.
What?
DiMatteo.
Is it? Okay.
It's the most
only spends half
important
the
thing
time
for
here.
Townsville in the last 50 years. The most important person in Townsville in the last 50 years. You can't even pronounce his fucking name.
He only spends half his time.
Hey?
He only spends half his time.
Matty does, yeah.
Yeah, that's the
I've been
excuse.
trying not to follow politics with all the
okay.
bullshit going on.
No, he's just a good lad.
Yeah, that's cool.
It'd
I got nothing against
It'd
him.
be cool to have him on about and talk about the Ross River Dam.
Yeah.
So we'll touch with Reese when he does his podcast too, because part of that, it's not just about the recreational and commercial side. It's about the dam opening. So he's the head of the Fish Stocking Association, or was. I don't know whether they're in a transition stage or whatever it is, but he's in the know with all that. So maybe after Reese's, we might look at seeing if Nick could come on.
Yeah.
He's a good lad. He'd do something like that.
Yeah.
So, and I think he's what he's done for Townsville and what he's been in. Everyone wants to bag him, but
Is he the lad that come
no
down from
one's-
the Hinchinbrook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, he was the Hinchinbrook electorate. He's always lived in Townsville.
Oh, okay.
He
Yeah.
always lived in Townsville.
Like I said, I just
Yeah.
been taking myself right away from
Yeah,
all the
this
politics
isn't. None of
bullshit
this
the
is
last 12
helping at
months.
all. Getting him on. Hey, like, yeah.
If he wants to talk fishing, I'm down.
So
yeah.
you stay in Townsville Water Sports. So you stay in the jet ski company, and
Okay,
so from a tourism point of view, it's actually exciting having a mayor
He
with some
understands.
form of background with business,
Yep.
knowing all that. Yeah, he went through the politics side, but prior to that, he was in business in Townsville. So
Yep.
he understands it all, and hopefully that'll aid moving forward.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's us for the next few weeks. Some charters, some fishing myself. I need some more meteries.
Back to work next Tuesday.
Still got what? 97 to go.
96 to
96.
go. 96.
Oh, that's right. He said 100
If it didn't
meters.
He said
rain,
100.
I would have another 15 by
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But when I use that
Hey.
fucking excuse, oh, yeah.
No, but just so you know.
Oh.
Just so you know. When it doesn't rain, I will end up smacking 20 or 30
That's cool.
in the week.
I'm happy for
I'm
you.
No, you're not. But that's why I keep rubbing it into you.
No, but I'm not. I was never in the conversation of catching 100 meters. I don't know if you did it or fucking you.
No,
were
no,
in
it
the-
was a
it's just
personal
a
thing.
personal
Oh,
challenge.
that
It was
cool.
like we had this conversation the other day
Well,
with
I'm,
Deacon.
I'm actually
Personal
fully
goal.
for you getting there. I hope you get there.
Just want to.
I don't know why you're rubbing it into me. I don't give a shit if you catch 100 fucking barra or not.
Well, you got to get one. See, that's
Oh,
the
mate,
thing.
I'm just happy to try and catch a fish at the moment in good weather.
No, but we had this conversation about it. Deacon's like, oh, well, you're taking a photo of everyone and you're documenting it. And
Who
I
cares?
said, well, I'm writing it down, but I'm not actually doing this for everyone else. I'm doing it just for me to go, okay,
Prove
well,
to
I've got
yourself.
if I'm going to lie to myself, then that's a fucking idiot. Like,
Yeah.
why would I bother? I wouldn't even set myself a goal.
I hope you smack 150.
It's like saying I'm going to run a fucking marathon next year.
Well, you know
That's
that ain't
great.
happening.
That ain't going to happen.
Go on.
But I can keep
Go
saying
on.
I'll do it, and then I'll go to the marathon and I'll run 20 metres, and then get to the finish line and run the 20 metres this way and say I fucking did a marathon. Well, I'm
How'd
still,
the marathon
You
go?
reckon
I'd be
you've
lying
got
to
40
myself.
metres in you?
I got 40.
I got
40 in
3
two
movies
bursts
in.
over about an hour. I got 40.
I got 3 movies into the movie marathon. I ain't running for shit.
Fuck, I don't even know if I got 40 in me.
I reckon I've got you covered.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm quick over 4 meters to an all-you-can-eat bar.
4 metres there, 4 metres back. He's eating up the plate by the time he sits
I
down.
reckon if I ran a race over 100 meters, that 40 meters is when I start getting me momentum carrying me.
Yeah. Well, now he's losing his boobs. He might not have that forward momentum going, mate. You're gonna have to do the old run back. Get the legs going twice as much.
Gonna need to go shopping for new clothes soon.
High knees.
Good times. Might just start wearing Deacons.
Yeah, that's probably the way to go. Yeah. I wouldn't wear his jocks.
No.
I
thought you
I'd
freeballed.
I'd bleach the
Hang on,
shit
why am
out
I
of
talking
him.
about this with a 16-year-old for?
Slightly illegal. Yeah.
Ah,
Excuse me.
No,
sir.
I think if you're no, it's only legal if you're under 18. It's
Yeah,
only
it's
legal.
totally illegal.
Once you're
Let's
40,
just stop. Let's just stop.
there's no loopholes
The best part
there.
about all of
let's
that,
just
the
stop.
best part about all of that's his little rosy face. Look at it.
Talking about me jockeys.
I never talked about your jock. Stop looking at me like that. Oh, shit. I can see
We didn't say that, Mum. Sue, we need to cut.
Yeah.
We need to cut that at some
Oh, my
point.
God. All right. Well, on that note.
Well, you've said that twice now.
We are at 1:52. It's been very, very quick.
Yeah. I suppose the other thing we can talk about is just quickly.
Just fucked me over.
Just quickly. Because I know,
you're
we'll get
ready
him
for
to the
it.
third. We're going to get for the third one. But,
Just a quick one.
No, but if there are any questions on anyone at home,
Yep.
on anything further of what we've sort of discussed, because we will go into the lure side of how we do it with different people we have on, you know.
Yeah.
Reese Bullimore's a Samaki prawn lover and a Samaki Reddit lover and
Yeah.
all of that. So we'll talk about his lure fishing styles and what he does, but and with anyone else who comes on stage. But if there's anyone out there who has any questions, as always, just flick them through.
Yep.
185 Gimp Psycho.
185 Psycho Glitter. Is there another reason to have a different colour prawn?
Cola.
So I'm guessing, when did we say that was going to be taking place? The week of the 9th? Is that
Bullies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
somewhere
if you
about
got any
that.
questions for that podcast that you want to ask Reese or Ryan, Adam, just sort of
Ryan.
Right.
drop them on a
Ryan.
post.
Yep.
I thought of
Yeah,
Simpkins
I
for
might
a
be
minute.
solo doing that one.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, if you're at work. I
Just
might
drop
be
them on
solo.
the
I'll be
page
the
and
questionnaire.
I don't know if I'll be able to get the intro right.
or message.
Welcome to the OMP podcast.
Or message the page,
Have to
and
start
Yeah,
it.
that's the best way.
Adam
Message
can
the
write
page.
it down and drop them in there for you. The questions.
I'll cut and paste them. I'm not good at writing.
Can't read his own writing.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Can't write it.
Can't read.
Can't write it, let alone read it.
Righto, let's stop. Thanks for coming on, bud. Appreciate it. I'm sure you'll be on a couple more down the track.
Hopefully.
And yeah, if you could jump on Spotify or give us a like on Facebook, jump on Spotify, any of them, and give us a good review and a thumbs up or a 5-star, whatever you got to do. Just helps us get out there a little bit more.
Yeah.
And
One
yeah,
thumb up.
we appreciate all yours.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Welcome to Audacity Daycare.
What happened?
I was holding this and you just jammed me.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's all right.
All right, guys. Thanks. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.
Toodaloos.
Thank you.
The Oceanic Mafia boys. What happens on the water stays on the water.